Katsuki Bakugou X-Reader, Chapter 3. Wine was walking up the stairs to the top of the building her family lived in. It was a cheap one that was downtown. Once she reached the top, she pulled out her notebook, beginning her homework when she suddenly heard a massive explosion. She paused, thinking she was hearing things, when suddenly she heard another one, and it was louder. She put her notebook in her bag, getting up and going to the edge to see where the explosions were coming from. Then she saw it. A huge sludge monster causing explosions and lots of damage. "Whoa," she muttered. Then it got closer, causing the ground to shake, and Wyan was knocked off her feet. She quickly got up to see fires all around the area of her building. It was so fast. She looked over the edge at the sludge monster, seeing a familiar ash blonde head within the sludge. "No," she muttered as sweat began to run down her face. No, it can't be him." Then it clicked. The explosions and the fires, Bakugou was in that thing. Wyan just covered her mouth, tears welling in her eyes. Then she saw all of the pro heroes starting to gather, but it looked like they couldn't do anything. Wyan looked at her hands, realizing something she discovered the other day. A couple days ago. "All right, you getting this, Dad?" Wyan asked her father, preparing herself to try her new ability as she climbed up a tree. "Yes, but just be careful. We don't know how far your quirk can go," he warned, holding a first aid kit against his chest with one hand and holding his phone with his camera out in the other. "I'll be fine, Dad," she assured him, reaching the top. Then Wyan jumped from the tree, her eyes beginning to glow, the light blue they did in daylight, and it happened. She created what looked like a force field, but she was standing on it. "Oh my God, Wyan, you did it!" Wyan's dad exclaimed, letting out the breath he had been holding. "Yes!" Then Wyan began walking and jumping around, creating a field to walk on everywhere she went until she reached the ground. She giggled as she exclaimed, "I wonder how far it'll go, Dad." "Me too, sweetie, me too." The present. Wyan decided within seconds to jump over the edge of the building, not caring if it was dangerous. She created the field after the first jump. Then she began running towards the monster, still high up. "Let me go!" Bakugou screamed as he attempted to free himself from the sludge monster. "You've got so much power," the sludge snarled. "I really hit the jackpot with a quirk like yours under my control. I can take All Might down with one punch." Wyan held her hands together, then starting to glow a bright blue, and she shot him with a powerful energy blast, one that was enough to knock the sludge off balance just a little. The sludge looked up at Wyan, seeing her getting angry and her eyes glowing blue. "Let him go!" she screamed, jumping down and hitting him with a more powerful blast this time. "A child?" The sludge snarled once again. "Really?" As Bakugou struggled, the sludge threw a swing at all the pro heroes, trying to hit Wyan, but thankfully she was able to throw a bubble-like force field around herself, but it was still knocked to the ground. Wyan threw down her force field just to jump up and create steps once again, running to the back of the sludge. "What do I do?" she thought. "Kid, what are you doing?" one of the pro heroes yelled to her. "Get out of here!" Suddenly, the sludge swung once again at her hero that yelled to Wyan, but she created a force field. "No, you idiot!" another pro hero yelled, but this time not to Wyan. "Stop, you're gonna get yourself killed!" Wyan looked down and saw Midoriya running towards the sludge monster. "No, Izuku!" she yelled to him, but he just kept running. "You're toast, kid," the sludge bellowed, reaching for him. Midoriya then threw his books, one of them hitting the sludge's eye and allowing Bakugou to get his head out and breathe once again. "Kachan!" Midoriya yelled, clawing at the sludge. "What the heck? Why are you here?" Bakugou yelled to Midoriya. "I don't know." My legs, they just started moving, Midoriya yelled to him. Kachan, I couldn't just stand there and watch you die. Izuku Katsuki, Wayan yelled, finally pulling one last blast at him, using up almost all her energy, seeing that the pros were moving in. Get the boy and girl. This thing will kill them, one of them yelled. Finally, All Might came and said something to Midoriya that Wayan couldn't hear. Her vision was blurring from the excessive use of energy. All Might gave a huge smash, knocking away the monster from Bakugou. Wayan created a force field around herself, Bakugou, Midoriya, and some of the civilians since the force was so strong with the last bit of her energy. Finally, it was over and Wayan let down her shields, stumbling over to Bakugou and Midoriya as it started to rain. Holy crap! He changed the weather. One pro hero stood in awe, watching as the clouds moved around. Then the crowd cheered for All Might, seeing the victory. Katsuki, Izuku, Wayan yelled as she fell beside the two boys on the ground. Soon after, the sludge pieces were collected into custody and Midoriya was chewed out by the heroes, while Bakugou was praised for his bravery. Wayan was in the middle, while being told that was dangerous. She was praised for her insane quirk, but she couldn't really hear or see much. The exhaustion from the fight getting to her, it was one of the biggest fights she'd seen and been in, and the most she used her quirk. Then nothing. The heroes looked over her, seeing that she passed out. Midoriya and Bakugou soon ran over to see what had happened and saw Wayan on the ground. Wayan, Bakugou yelled, pushing through the crowd to get to her. Midoriya soon followed. Bakugou picked up her head, putting it in his lap while the heroes tried to get some paramedics over. Wayan woke up quickly after she felt enough sunlight and a little shut-eye. She opened up her eyes to see the scarlet ones right over her head. Are you okay? Midoriya asked, concerned. She nodded, getting up slowly. The paramedics picked her over and saw that she was okay but needed rest. Midoriya had offered to walk Wayan to her grandparents since Bakugou was swarmed with reporters and her home was destroyed in the attack. Her dad texting her to go there and they will see her there. You've got insane control over your power, Midoriya stated, seeing Wayan was growing more lethargic with each step. Thank you for shielding Kachan and I. She looked up from the ground to see him. How did you... I saw you doing the same for yourself and some civilians. Also, it was the same shade of blue as your eyes when you use your quirk. She scratched her head. Whoa, that's impressive and you're welcome. Deku, the two heard, as they turned around to see Bakugou running up to him. Kachan, Katsuki, Midoriya and Wayan said at the same time as Bakugou ran up to them. Listen, I would never ask for a weakling like you to help me, he began, panting between his words. Don't think you can look down on me, huh? Got that? I was fine by myself. You're just a quirkless failure who just cut it as I rent a cop. You didn't help me. Midoriya just looked at him while Wayan's mouth opened in shock. You're kidding me. Wayan started, taking a step forward towards Bakugou but stumbling. Look, I'll take her home. Her grandparents is closer to my house, Deku, Bakugou said, taking Wayan's arms as she got her footing. Okay, see you, Wayan, Midoriya said as the two walked away. As Bakugou and Wayan were walking, she looked up at him and sighed, stopping at one of the benches to let her catch her breath. Why are you like this? She asked after a minute of silence. Because I'm not weak. Also, thank you. Wayan looked up at him from the ground, hearing those shocking words. For what? For the force field at the blast and trying to save me, he told her, looking up from the ground as well. I didn't know you were so powerful. Me either, Wyan sighed. Why didn't you think Izuku? Because he's a quirkless... Stop. Just stop. Wyan put up her hand, wobbling up from the bench. I'll walk home on my own. I'm glad you're okay. Wyan, Bakugou breathed, watching as Wyan walked home on her own. So this is the Katsuki X Reader Chapter 3. I hope you liked the video, and I'm sorry if I keep on stuttering. I really am. But it's just a habit of mine, so I hope... Oh, and I hope you also check the person who made this amazing fanfic. And I hope you can also follow her in Wattpad and check some of her stories. So goodbye and thank you for watching.